Well, good morning, good morning, good morning. It is 7 minutes past the hour on this 26th day of March, and it is another episode of hashtag Truth Be Told on this Work It Out Wednesday. Yours truly, Joe Dupree in the building, but I ain't by myself. I ain't never by myself. From 100 BLK to Black Station, I got the art therapist, the speaker, the author, the life strategist. My girl Jax is in the building all the way in Brick City. Jax, good morning. And how
What
are
up?
you doing this morning?
What up, Joe? Look, I am doing phenomenal. God is good. He woke me up another day, right? So
Oh, I'm
it's just
fine.
like it's such an honor. It's such a blessing. I was doing a little reading when you popped in, so I didn't even see my big old face up there. But yeah, God is good. I was up late. I had an amazing phone call, Joe. A friend of mine, he's former NFL councilman up here in Jersey, and he's an attorney and he's a dope brother. And we had a great conversation last night, so I'm really excited about some things to come. But God is good. How you doing, JoJo? How was your night, boo?
I'm good. I'm good. It's 8 minutes after. I'm going to make these introductions quick because I got to get up out of here. I'm getting the cast taken off my leg.
That's right.
So
Yes.
let me bring in, you know her from her award-winning, I'm speaking it, award-winning, world-renowned podcast, In the Passenger Seat with Alethea Crimmins. You know her from J HUD. She is the CEO of Pimpin' Positivity herself. It is none other than Alethea Crimmins in the building, telling you better do it on purpose. Okay, let's get it. Alethea, how you doing this morning?
I'm doing good. As you can see, I woke up feeling fabulous. I put my brand on, be great in their face, because that is what I do each and every day, because people want you to fail, but I not only will I not fail, I'm gonna let you watch me win.
Mm,
That's
mm,
right, boo. Let them watch you
mm,
win. And that smile. Oh my God. Look at that smile, Joe. I
mm.
can't. That smile is something else. It just warms my
Thank
heart,
you.
Alethea, every time I see it.
Well, since I'm in here with this Tennessee Orange on, I think my man representing the Big Red Machine. Now, you got to be back in the 70s to know about the Big Red Machine, about Joe Morgan, and about people like Pete Rose and like Johnny Bench and just them guys. Calling them in from New York City. Ooh, I did it. Tell me about that boy from New York City. 1075 WBLS. He is on the open lines, which is their show that they broadcast on WBLS. And then he takes it to the online show. It's the Open Line Online. And he's the executive producer of Keeping It Real with Reverend Al Sharpton. Is my brother from another mother. Brother Fatim is in the building. Good morning, brother Fatim. How you doing this morning, brother?
What's up? What's up, brother? Good morning, Joe. Good
Uh,
morning, Sister Jax. Good morning, Sister Alethea. I love
Good
the energy
morning.
that our sisters are bringing here this morning. And Joe, what shirt do I have on? Whose shirt do I have on today? Since you guessed yesterday, take a guess.
Let me see. Let me see. Got to be a brother. And so let me figure out which brother you may have on from the Cincinnati Reds. Ooh, I don't think it's Morgan. It's got to be somebody else. I don't know. I really don't know. I'm not going to take that guess because I got to get up out of here, man. But who is it? Who is it? Uh-oh. Rose,
oh,
Pete, he got Petey Rose on the Petey Rose. That's what I'm talking about. Go ahead. Somebody let
Pete Roll.
Petey Rose.
But
Let him.
Pete, but you see the Fatine there, y'all
oh,
put
shoot.
and my number 25. You know what I'm
Custom.
saying? So
Custom. With
yeah,
the
yeah.
white belt underneath.
There you go.
With the full head of hair.
All right,
Yeah.
family. Y'all get it. I'll be back later if there is a later. If not,
Yes,
y'all
Lord.
enjoy yourself. If Shine comes in, I'll throw him in the mix. I'm getting ready to get up out of here. Y'all enjoy the show.
Good luck.
Brother
Peace out. Love
Fatim,
you, bro.
you in charge. I'm out.
Got it.
Peace.
All right. Peace, dude. All right.
Uh-oh.
All right. All right.
Pop Pop's in charge, Lord Jesus. Pop Pop's in
Uh-oh.
charge.
So what we're gonna do is we're gonna do what is called a kind of open type of forum topic from our point of view. So each one of us that may have something on your mind or something you want to bring up, let's throw it out there. I'll kick it off first because I just thought about this. Because I said today I was going to sit back, let Joe. I forgot Joe had to do the cast thing today. So I forgot about that. And one of the things that's been bothering me, and I thought about it this morning, and there's a lot of things that have been bothering me, but relationship, feelings, and all kind of stuff, friendships. But that's not it today. What bothers me is I woke up and I was reading in New York State, they removed a Black man who did a heroic thing. I'm thinking it was in World War I or World War II from the website because of the DEI. And then I also read where a lot of folks said they just automatically started scrubbing everything, Black achievements and other people's of color. And somebody said the reason why is because once we got that, Trump's order, executive order, we have to move. We have to move. We can't lollygag with it like we don't want to do it. If he's our commander in chief, we have to move that. It bring me to this here. And I know I'm reaching a little bit, but am I really reaching? I've said before, and I joked about it when Trump was running, and I said, if Trump became in office, I said, at one time, somebody said, you better have your passports in order. I joked and said, you better have your slave papers in. And when I said that, in the back of my head, I was dead serious.
Yeah.
A lot of people, and I want people in the chat, and I do this, I don't have no smile on my face. I'm sad, but I'm angry because we sell a bunch of wolf tickets. We are, back in the day, we used to call them radio revolutionaries. People listening to Black radio, Black talk, talking this, talking strong, talking this. You need to do this, man. I'm doing this. You ain't doing a damn thing. They're scrubbing our history, and I'm in the mix too. I'm not, and when I say I'm in the mix, I'm out here fighting, talking about it, trying to push back, trying to push our legislators and those people that represent us, trying to wake up people. So I am trying to do something. But we, as a collective, what power do we have if they are just scrubbing our history and all we do is bitch? It shows we have no damn power.
That's right.
And with no power, that means they can do what they want. A lot of us think that, oh, mankind is going to do what's good for mankind. No, mankind's going to do what's good for them.
Yeah.
At that particular time. So I'm bringing this up to say, where is our real power and how do we even achieve? We're trying to survive now. I don't even know if we can even talk about having real power. Why in 2025, where we've had Black mayors, Black governors, a Black president, we have Black women doing things and other people of color that have done great things in this country. And white folks are starting to become the minority in the sense of numbers. Where is our power, ladies? People in the chat, where is our power? And what do we do, not only to fight this, but to resurrect who we are? Because they're trying to bury us, y'all. If they are scrubbing us from history, don't tell me that, oh, they can't really. Yes, they can.
Yeah.
They can burn the books. They can remove the books. You understand? A lot of y'all don't read books. And then you go to Google or you go to ChatGPT. You still under them. When you go to social media, who runs social media?
Exactly.
On that large, powerful platform. I ain't talking about Isaac Hayes III, his son, that's got a platform. Yes, and I applaud that, my brother. I applaud the things that we do. I applaud the small things that we do, like silos, to bring it together. But on that platform, when we walk in that room, what are we bringing that room for? Leverage against these son of a bitches.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, you know what, Fatim, that is so powerful and so great, and I'm so glad you brought that up, because when we really think about the whole scheme of life, right? We know that a house divided cannot stand, and they know that a house divided cannot stand. So as long as they can divide and conquer us and sprinkle us with a little this and a little bit of that, we'll fall for it. You know, so we definitely, as a people, that's why I always say we have to get our houses in order. We are a mess. but I understand systemically how we got to this point. You know what I'm saying? However, like we really just have to pull ourselves together and recognize what's really going on, because a lot of us still don't want to recognize it. You know, like I said the other day, yeah, it's great for us to always talk about the solutions, but we still have to identify what the actual problem is. The problems is part of it is our behavior, our mindset, right? Our mindset is not strong and on point how it needs to be. Like you said, we don't read. We don't read. What they say, the you know, the greatest thing you could do is put it in a book, right? You put it in a book, we
Right.
won't even open the pages to see what is in that book. And you know what's funny? I've been doing a lot of reading lately, and it's a beautiful thing, right? And so I was reading the Willie Lynch letter again yesterday, and I was reading it again today. And it's a small book, so you can read it a zillion times in a day, right? So before I dig deep into that, Fatine, because there's a page, 2 pages I wanted to read, the breaking process. And for those of you who are not familiar with it, here we go. I showed it last week, the Willie Lynch letter, right? The making of a slave. So I wanted to read, you know, this part. But Alethea, I would love to hear what you have to say about this topic before I dig into this, because it answers what Fatine's talking about.
It it really does all come down to us working together. And I don't understand as a people
Hmm.
why this is so difficult for us to do. Like Joe said it in the comments, is unity, unity, unity. The question that I have is, we talk about it, but what does it start?
Hmm.
What what does it start? Where do we say, okay, I've had enough, so now I'm going to come together? You said it. It starts at home. It starts
Yeah.
in our backyard. It starts in our. So where in Lafayette
Hmm.
can we say, okay, well, we're going to come together, and we're going to take on these forces,
Hmm.
and then that spreads to other places, and like, where does it start? Like, we all say unity, but just like you said, like, nobody's coming up with a solution to where it starts, and one person cannot do it all.
That's right. That's right.
One person can. Fatigue, you can talk all day and all night, but you're by yourself.
Hmm. And you know what's unfortunate too, Alethea? A lot of people say, you know, especially people that look like us, oh, slavery doesn't matter. That's old. What did that have to do with anything? It
Yeah,
got a lot to do with everything.
a lot.
A lot to do with everything. But people feel that it is so far removed and so long ago. But the crazy part is, some of the adults that say slavery doesn't matter, their grandparents were fresh off the backs of slavery or were slaves. You know, some of them their parents, but yet they still say it doesn't matter. When do you ever hear a Jewish person say, "Oh, the Holocaust doesn't matter"? Like, that's old. That happened a long time ago. They will still celebrate that, have reverence for it over and over and over again. They will
But
still
but
claim they're chosen. Go ahead. Go ahead.
but there is, what people don't understand is,
Hmm.
slavery is going on right now, but in
Yes.
a different way. It's modern day slavery. They have us slaves to social media.
Yeah. Hmm.
Like that like they have us. It's modern days slavery. No, it may not be. And I think that people are ignorant to that fact, because when they think of slavery, they think of roots, and they think of the. But there's different forms of slavery. When somebody has control over your mind,
Yes.
you are a slave.
Yes.
That's correct.
Yep.
That's right.
Yep. And, and,
That's
and you
it.
know what? So I just want to hit this, and I say it numerous times on the show, but for those who have missed it, in regards to the 13th Amendment, the 13th Amendment of the U.S. Constitution still tells us that slavery is abound, right? It says the 13th Amendment to the United States Constitution, ratified in 1875. Okay, wait, hold up. Let me get the exact one. Keep talking. Let me pull it back up.
Yeah. So
Mhm.
so let me just, and what I wanted to do is to let you ladies talk, especially you, Alethea, because sometimes your talk time is not there, and I know you have a lot to say, and I wanted to make sure that we drive this. I want Jax, of course, when she reads that, and then get to that Willie Lynch letter.
Mhm.
But I see some, that some say no unity, which Sister Jax said, what you just said, Alethea. it's very scary because, and then I'm not sitting here, and I hate to throw the names Oprah, Beyonce, Tyler Perry. I mean, these are individuals that have money. They're Black folks that have had success at what they do, and they've had money. And I can't put it just on them because they got money that they will be the one, the gatekeepers for us as a people moving forward. They do what they can do. You understand what I'm saying? I just think that as we tend to look back at where we're at, like the Sister Jack said, when you look at the Constitution and you look at the Bill of Rights, and now you see a president, a man that defies law and order, and how he is trying to move with this country, defying judges and things like that. They don't care. And see, you gotta understand, that's why people need to know history, because if you don't know history, as you say, people tend to repeat history. I just saw a picture of Chicken George. Do you know who Chicken George is, Alethea? Do you know who Chicken George is there? A lot of our younger folks don't know who the hell Chicken George is.
Not at all.
And I think that what happens, there are people in our history or in our past that when you know what they stood for, or or the message they got. Chicken George is a descendant of Alex Haley and is part of the Roots family. The book and the miniseries that was on television. And Chicken George was he raised chickens to cockfight, to fight. You understand? And he was good at it. And who played his master there was Chuck Connors, the rifleman. You understand? And in there, Chuck Connors, the master said, I'm going to eventually give you your slave papers. But when they heard that there was a slave rebellion, you understand, when there was a slave rebellion, that master, that white man, went into his real character. Bo, he put that shotgun in Chicken George's face. And Chicken George was nothing but good to this man. Help bring money to him. Help raise the status. So Chicken George was supposed to get his papers. And when that master said, "You got it, boy," he put that gun in his face. That's when Chicken George finally woke up.
Yeah.
Finally woke up and said, "I got it now." So some of us need a Swiss kick in our ass. We need to go through this time, Sister Alethea and Sister Jax. Unfortunately, I'm not glad that we're going through this, but I just was speaking about this maybe 30 minutes ago. Sometime it's better for us to go through this to help prepare us, because there's some more coming down the road that we got to be prepared for.
That's right.
We are seeing the tip of the iceberg right now.
Yeah, the tip of it. And you know what? So when I dig into the 13th Amendment, right? So the 13th Amendment, Section 1 says, neither slavery nor involuntary servitude, except as a punishment for a crime, whereof the party shall have been duly convicted, shall exist within the United States or any place subject to their jurisdiction. Section 2 says, Congress shall have power to enforce this article by appropriate legislation. So that's showing you right there. If you're convicted of a crime and you go into prison or to the jailhouse, guess what? You are a slave. They don't even give you your name. They give you a number. Like you're part of that system. They tell you when to go to sleep, when to eat. They give you what they want to give you to eat. That all your rights are gone. Like forced labor. So that's still slavery. But it's so insane that, especially like our young, boys and girls, and it's so unfortunate because there's still a huge responsibility upon the parents. I saw in the news again this morning, 18-year-old in this state shot and killed somebody. 16-year-old here stabbed somebody up. My husband had to deal with somebody the other day, kid making on a 3D printer, making ghost guns. You know what I'm saying? Like there's always something going on, but it's like, what are we doing as parents? Yes, a lot of us are working, but there are still some that really aren't putting the pedal to the metal and just letting the kids run amok. And rather than parenting them, they still rather let them do this all day long, right? Do this all day long.
Yeah, let me just read a comment here before you read that Willie Lynch letter, and then we're going to keep going around. So think of what you want to bring up. Dre B. Watson says, and good morning, Sister Dre. Michael
I was just reading that.
Yeah, so Dre says, we need to unify as people. However, I think that we tend to focus on ourselves, our immediate family, and that's it. As long as it's not affecting us, we don't want to get involved. So, Sister Dre, I mean, you hit some things on the head. Some of us don't need to be leading but with ourselves and our family. A lot of us are just not leaders outside of us, of who we are and our family. We're just not. Everybody's not a leader. They're just not. And if you're not a leader, because where the hell are you leading me to? You got to have tenacity. You got to have strength. You got to have wisdom. You got to have insight. You understand? And you got to not lead always on emotion. So a lot of us, I get about the unity, and I think it first starts with us because we control this universe. We are all universes walking in this universe. You understand? But some of us are not great leaders. Some are great teachers. Some are great warriors. And then some are great fools.
Yeah.
Some are just great fools that are just going to fall by the wayside. They don't want to do right. And that's why I told Sister Jax, I tell Alika, and I look y'all straight in the eye. If they don't care about themselves, well, why the hell am I worried about them?
Yeah.
You know the whole thing is I'm getting out the damn haunted house and you want to stay up there and talk to the invisible woman in the rocking chair. And my ass got to be the dumb ass to go back and get you. No, hell no. You stay up there with Granny.
Yep.
I don't see her.
That's right.
Moving, I'm gone.
That's right. It's a little scary. So you know what? There's a scripture that I love, and it talks about, it says, a fool finds no pleasure in understanding, but delights in airing their own opinion. So when you're dealing with a fool, they don't have a desire to even understand. They just want to air their opinion, say what they got to say, handle things from that perspective, but they don't have a desire to actually understand. So like I say, I always go back to scripture because I get a lot of nuggets out of scripture. Even if you put all the stories aside, there's still a lot of jewels within those holy pages. So
But that same fool who does not want to get understanding has no right to get upset when things do not go their way. Like you
That's
had the opportunity, but you chose, just like you said last week. It all comes down to what we choose.
that's right.
It is a choice. So either you're gonna choose to do something about it or you're not. But you can't cry
Yeah.
when it starts to directly affect you, because we want to worry about our house, ourselves, our household, which is fine. You should, but what we also don't understand, the lack of us not worrying about what is going on outside of our households can directly affect what happens in our household.
You're right. You're right. You're absolutely right.
You said, I smile just to say that little volley you just said is something that I'm going through right now. And it's not bad, but it's just a little something. And it's amazing what you just said, how we have to apply these things. And sometimes you have to not only reevaluate situations, you have to basically, as they say, reaffirm. We have to reaffirm. And sometimes we have to reaffirm. That's why it's sometimes when you need your battery charge, you say, let me call so-and-so. Let me talk to that person. Let me read this. Because sometimes we need to reaffirm that. Sometimes we stray. Life causes us to stray and wobble. This is just not straight like this. It's not a straight line. Life is not a straight line like that. You wobble. And when you wobble, sometimes you got to get back on track. And there, so thank you for that, Sister Alika, because it's we can apply that. And then let me just say what you say, Sister Jax, and and this is not to take away from the scripture. Yes, there are jewels that you can pull from the Holy Bible. Just like I said that. You can do that just like you're pulling jewels from the Willie Lynch letter. And that's why I tell people out there, for instance, that you can do it that way and walk in the line of those that believe in the scriptures or in a religious way. But don't shun those that may not choose that, but also pull those jewels and nuggets from other places, because I've said before that it's about the lesson. And if you have a good heart and you're following this and never picked up the Bible and then picked up the Bible one day and said, I pattern my life after this, these things are that. then that's the bottom line. You don't have to call yourself a Christian. You don't have to call yourself a Muslim. You don't have to call yourself any title. You just be who you are and trying to be the best person that you are without a title. The title doesn't matter. It's what you do out there that matters.
Yes.
Absolutely,
Yeah,
Fatima.
I say that all the time. There's people with titles. We're going through that now. There's
That's
people
right.
with titles that are not the best people.
Mm-hmm.
So your title doesn't make or break you. It's who you are. It's who you put out there, because you can call yourself a wonderful person, but
Mm-hmm.
if you're putting out negativity into the world, then is that really who you are, or is that who you want us to believe that you are?
That's right. That's right. You know, Fatine, I think maybe 2 days ago I was watching, or yeah, maybe 2 days ago I was watching the WBLS Open Line show, right? When you last year at this time, when you guys had honored me for, I guess it was Women's History Month, and Brother Aton came on for the first, hour, then I came on for the next hour, and Do It All, Dupre Kelly from Lords of the Underground, now Councilman of the West Ward here in Newark, he came on and joined, to honor me because we've worked together. He's a good friend of mine, knows me personally. And it was just amazing hearing some of the things he was saying. And he clearly said, Jax is not afraid to do the work. She doesn't care what lane it's in, because dude knows I've been at the studio with him. I'll clean the toilet. You know what I'm saying? But then I'll turn around and run a political meeting. The next minute I'll be the main one leading up the fundraiser. I'm on the board. Then the next minute I'll be sweeping the street. I don't care what the task is. If I see a need, I'm going to do my best to fill it. And I think that's the perspective that a lot of us, should work on trying to come from. If you see a need, fill it, whether it's your kid and they need something, or it's not your kid and they need something. If you have the ability to fill that need, try to step in. And sometimes it's just a word. It's just even saying, I love you. Some of these little kids go to school, Alethea, go to school every day. Nobody's saying I love you or have a nice day. They drop the kids at the door, turn around and keep it moving to a 4-year-old.
But
Sometimes they need that.
But you see what the issue is,
Mm-hmm.
and I hear it a lot, especially with us.
Mm-hmm.
That's not my job.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's not my job.
Mm-hmm.
Well, whose job is it?
That's right.
Whose job is it? If it is not your job, then whose job is it?
That's right.
It's their job. It's the problem is that they don't have that. It takes a village to raise a child, or
Mentality.
to nourish us as a people mentality. And I want to kind of come right back. You know me, I'm gonna bring us back to this power, because I want to, before we throw it on to the next person to bring up what they want to talk about, is if we don't have the power, how do we get the power? And if we don't know how to get the power, do we think that part of the power is through education? You can't do anything without education. But when I use the word education, I'm not talking about the Kingsman education only. You go to their schools and you learn theirs, because a lot of us went to their school, learned this, and being able to turn that around on them. But you continue to reach outside of your comfort zone and learn and read and watch so that you can learn other things. Then the next thing is the political field. We are in a place that we call it democracy, where we vote people in to represent our interests. So that is another powerful tool. Then ownership, being our own boss, controlling our own money, controlling our own destiny. These are things that could start to bring us power. You got to realize, if there would have been more Tulsa, Oklahomas, more Rosewoods out there, then it would have been hard to destroy one town and get rid of all that Black business and Black commerce that was coming into Tulsa. When they burned the Black Wall Street down, how many Black Wall Streets? Now, we might have had silos of Black communities doing well, but not to the point that we became a force. And when you become a force, they take one out, but we already got more, we got hundreds still thriving,
Yeah.
thriving out there. That's how we build power. We got to start to better ourselves and take control of the narrative and control of ourselves, but
That's
to the
right.
point of power as well.
Yeah.
Because when we control our money, we control ourselves. We have more control over us. And then when you network with other people that are moving similar, that's how you build a powerful coalition.
That's right. But you know, part of that fatigue, that's wonderful. But part of the problem is we don't have enough discipline in many cases to control ourselves. We go with our lower desires. We think something and we do it. We're very reactionary. But we have to sometimes pull back and strategize and say, is this the right thing to say? Or is this the right thing to do? Or is this the right place to go? Or is this the right person to be in a relationship with? Or is this the right choice in terms of what school you're going to go to or what job you're going to take? We have to count the cost. And quite often we don't count the cost. We become very impulsive and we just act without thinking first. So I always talk about something called reflection and action. Reflection and action is still a psychological term in terms of when you're doing something, even in the midst of doing it, you need to be reflecting, saying, you know what are the outcomes if I make this decision? Even if you have a gun in your hand and you could say, even in that moment, if I pull this trigger, this bullet can't come back to me. This bullet is going to project out from whatever direction it's going to go, but I can't take it back once I pull that trigger. So in that moment, you have to reflect and say, damn, you know what? He made me angry. She made me angry. I don't need to pull the trigger. Let me put it away. You know what I'm saying? And then you could save somebody's life and in a sense, save your own life as well. So we have to pull back and think. And also in terms of power is very easy to get. You can easily get power, but it's about how do you wield that power? And do you have the ability to sustain it and maintain that power? It's just like a relationship. You can get into a relationship easily. You can get into a marriage easily, right? But can you maintain and sustain that marriage in a healthy way?
Right.
That's the
And
key.
I agree with you. And I just want to say this here, and I agree with you there on that.
Mhm.
But also looking at some of the ills that we have within our own community. We, unfortunately, folks, that we were part of the slave trade, our ancestors, excuse me,
Yeah.
were part of the slave trade. Yes, I know that we've had people here on these shores before slavery. I get that. But let's look at this for what it really is. A lot of our ancestors, even for the Caribbean islands, have been under some sort of bondage, our ancestors. And it, in that servitude, I think of the movie and we talk about it, Django. But in Django, how many Djangos were there? One. How many Djangos were there? One. How many Stevens were there? Of course, Stephen, that character played by Samuel L. Jackson, was exemplified. But you also had other Black people. You saw the Black men that were in that quote unquote little wagon that were enclosed. Their mentality was like they fell in line. They looked at Django as, what's going on with this Negro? And they didn't use the word Negro back then. I'm just being nice right now. What kind of Negro is this dude? Boy, he about to what?
Yeah.
You understand? And then also in Django, it showed other people that worked in the house, especially the women, good people. They were really good people. But what I'm getting to is we became a victim of the sermon pastor spokesperson mentality, that we look for a leader instead of the leader being within us. That's what Reverend Sharpton used to end his shows with. The leader is not out there. The leader is in here. But we have been drilled down. When you hear the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, and now he's older now, but when you heard him, when Malcolm, when Martin, when Medgar, you look at all these leaders, and there's nothing wrong with that. But how many people that they had in their congregation that could also step in their place and lead? Not a lot of people. You understand? So we became victim of that. And that's why we sometimes sit on our laurels and don't do sugar, honey, iced tea at the end of the day. Because that's why I said, because we don't know how. We can rah-rah, we can do this, but we don't know. Sister Jax, you are a leader and you are a follower.
Absolutely.
Alethea, you are a leader and you are also a follower. And I can say, and I can break that down two ways. In the sense of Alethea, you learned through your trials and tribulations,
Mhm.
and then you took charge of your narrative and yourself. You understand? You came to the fork in the road. You brought it up the other day. You may have chose to move this way, but hey, that is not working. I need to be who I am. Sister Jax, you are a leader because you go out there and do. But have you been a follower? Yes, you have been a follower. You are a follower now. But the follower from the perspective of helping to build something. You both are, or we are trying to help build something, but we're also leaders in our own right. And I
Absolutely.
think that's where people at the end of the day that are sitting back and not really pushing forward. Some of them people don't even know their own potential
Yeah.
because they haven't pushed themselves to do anything to be successful in something that they believe they couldn't do. You know how many people say, I didn't know I could do that. I didn't go to school for radio producing. I'm not a talker. I work with people who was great at doing this. You understand? I never thought I would be doing something like this. I've been to school for electrical engineering technology. So sometimes I always say, be the best that you can be at whatever you're doing, because you never know when you have to switch hats out there. But that's another thing about us, that we become powerless because we put our power and trust in other people to lead us. And if they go astray, or if they go astray or get killed or go off track, then we're leaderless.
That's right.
So that's where I'm saying where power comes in. There's a lot of ways to build power, as you say, but you know, we got to understand what real power is. And when we come to the table right now, Donald Trump, from a presidential point of view, he has the power, and he's paying back mofos tenfold that came at him.
That's
You understand what I'm saying? And he's not taking any prisoners. And I think we got to take that mentality that we were slaves in this country. We were spit on. We were maimed. Our women were raped and killed. I'm not forgetting that. I'm not forgiving you for that. I don't need to have a chip on my shoulder to bring me down and make my health wrong. And I'm not saying I'm gonna have to pay your ass back, but I get the picture. And I understand when you empower, this is what you're doing. Look at what you're doing in 2025.
That's right.
This is not 1945. This is 1845. This is 2025.
That's
and if you're doing this to us now, and you did that to us then why the hell did I got to come out here and soft shoe it and come out here with some easygoing talk because I'm scared to make you uncomfortable?
That's right. That's right. And you know what? When you and that's great, Fatine. And when you think about power, one thing that a lot of people don't realize, and also with leadership, it's about not walking with fear or in fear. Now, of course, you're going to have some sort of stress or be a little nervous in some cases. But when you have a healthy self-esteem, because there's different types. You have a low self-esteem, which we all know somebody what low self-esteem is, right? Then you have a healthy self-esteem, and then you have a high self-esteem. So it's about finding a balance. So when you are a leader, you have to say, even if somebody says, oh, can you do this? In your mind, you're like, damn it, I ain't never done that a day in my life. But you know what? You go, yes, I can do that. And you do what you have to do, and you bust your butt to figure it out, and you can do it. Or you can still be humble enough to say, I don't know how to do it, but I'm going to learn how, right? So as a leader, you cannot walk scary and scared of everything and fear of, oh, I don't think I could do that. I don't think I could do this. I don't know how to do this. I don't know how to do. You cannot be full of excuses to be a leader. You have to look at every situation as a solution, as something for you to solve, right? Look at every problem brought to you and say, you know what is the solution and how am I going to solve it, and not be afraid to solve. You have to have such a level of confidence. And that's where that healthy self-esteem comes from. And a lot of us could be leaders, but when you don't have that confidence, that innate confidence, and sometimes that doesn't always come from, growing up and somebody saying, oh, you're great. Because guess what? A lot of people didn't get that at all. Actually, they got the opposite. And they say, you know what? I'm going to turn this table and I'm going to be powerful and I'm going to be strong. But it's how you wield that power once you get it, which leads to sustainability in your leadership. Also, with leadership, there's different leadership styles. You have to identify what type of leadership style you want to have. You could Google that and do research on different leadership styles. Find out where you fall and find out where you want to get to and work on, we're afraid to do the work. and you just got to do the work. It's just that simple. You just have to put in the work and get off of this. Instead of being on this, 10, 15, 20 hours a day, you got to put in the work. And if you are using it, use it for your advantage. Use it to grow, use it to learn, not just scrolling 10-minute, 10-second, videos thinking now you're a master at something. No, you got to dig deeper. And like you say, Fatim, even when you Google, 9 times out of 10, a bunch of the stuff that comes up at first is the BS. The real history is
You gotta
buried underneath. And we got to just start digging. And anything like Joe says on, like what we say on the show, like we just put it out there. It's up to you to still continue to do the research and study to show thyself approved and dig a little bit deeper, not just take our word for it. So we can't be
Exactly.
afraid to be leaders, and we can't be afraid to put in the work.
Alethea?
That's good. That's good. But a lot of times it is, and I'm speaking for me and other people that I've noticed, we do have the potential. We do have what it takes, but it does also come down to, are we ready to take that role in
Mhm.
leadership? Are we ready to have that type of power? Because we just like you said, like we can get all this power, but then we don't know what to do with
Mhm.
it. We,
Mhm.
we we don't know where to put it, and we will mess things up.
That's right.
So you have to be ready. And like you said this past week, as far as con- controlling
Mhm.
ourselves,
Mhm.
we live in a microwavable world right now. And
Mhm.
we want things now, now,
Mhm.
now, now. And people don't want to wait. It's just like you said, when they're
Yep.
holding that gun, when they get mad, they want to handle it now.
Yep.
They don't want to wait to try to problem solve and see what's the better option. They want to handle it now. When we get money, and that's what makes us different. And these are things that I've seen with our own eyes. I've seen people that got tens of hundreds and thousands of dollars in a settlement. The first thing you want to do is show off with it. Why? Why not increase your money, invest your money? But that would take time. And sometimes we don't want to take that time because we want things to happen right now. Leadership doesn't happen overnight. It takes time. Having that type of power and knowing what to do with it doesn't happen overnight. And you also have to be ready of the backlash that comes with that leadership, the
Oh,
backlash that comes with that power. Like you have to be ready. And just like you said, you can't be scared of it because you got to know that it's going to come.
yeah, that's right.
You have to know that it is going to come. So are you ready to be that leader, to
Mhm.
have people look up to you? Because they're gonna watch you and see how you move.
Absolutely.
They're gonna watch you and see how you handle certain things, because
Mhm.
you can't just be a leader and just focus on you.
Mhm.
When
That's right.
when you are a leader, you focus on others.
That's
So
right.
people are gonna watch. Well, how does she handle this? How does she handle that? How does Jax handle whenever somebody just come and play all in her face?
Mhm.
How does she handle that?
Mhm.
Because then I'll know. Well, let me watch Jack so that I can know how to handle certain things. So, are you ready to have all of that?
That's right.
Are you ready to deal with all of that?
Yeah. Yeah. And a lot of people aren't, because you know what? And I know you guys all know, being a leader, you're looked up to, but at the same token, you're still looked down upon, right?
Yeah.
So everything you do is going to be more scrutinized. So it's easier to play the back, because when you play the back, nobody's really talking about you or thinking about you or has too much to say. But when you're up in front in leadership, you have to be ready for criticism, but it's how you handle that criticism. People will criticize me. I don't give a damn. I'll take what they say, and if something applies, I'll apply it to my life and say, you know what, that does make sense. Let me, take a mental note and keep it moving. But people are going to criticize you, and if you don't have tough skin, you're going to crumble. And like I said, when the threats, assaults, the discourse, whatever comes my way, I laugh and I keep it moving. Like, it is what it is. Everybody's entitled to their own opinion. You don't have to like me. and I don't have to like you. That's just
Gotcha.
life. But you just keep it
Gotcha.
moving.
Yeah. And I think that when you
Mhm.
say leadership, it comes with responsibility. And I sit up here and I think, and I'm gonna read Rhonda Hairston comment, we have to realize why all Blacks may struggle with the race, the Caribbean Black, South American, etc., those that are not native of North America and know that they are Black, only unity may mean something different to them on a grand micro level. So basically, that's why I mentioned the movie Sankofa. Sankofa, because in the movie Sankofa, as I was watching it, it went back to slavery in America, I listened to the Southern drawl. But then when I saw the one slave turn to the next and the next slave, and I hate to use that term, but that's what it was.
Mhm.
And I heard that Caribbean, what's that mine? And I said, oh my God, yes, that shows we don't see even the unity amongst us, even that was in bondage. That my Caribbean brother was also in bondage, as well as we were in bondage. But we separate our bondage. You think the Jewish, when the Holocaust, they separate their different tribes? No, it's one Holocaust against the Jews.
Yeah.
That's what we need, the Black Holocaust against Black people.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it is about. And I look at this, nation building is something. And I bring up, I'm not a member of the Nation of Islam, but I'm a good friend of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan.
Mm-hmm.
I was a good friend of the late Minister Khalid Muhammad, who passed. And, one thing about, and I saw somebody put up here about being humble. It's one thing to be humble, but don't think because I'm humble, you can step over me.
Mm-hmm.
One thing about Minister Farrakhan, and if you ever see them in interviews, you see them with Barbara Walters, you see them on Phil Donahue, and you see them do numerous interviews out there. He's a humble brother. He can soft-spoken. When he needs to turn on that fire or that faucet, he turns on the fire, the faucet. He's got an army behind him. You mess with me, you got them to deal with.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where I come from. My heart comes from that I'm nice and I'm cool. And sometimes I hate to say this, Sister Jackson, Alethea, and I just said this. I was talking to your cousin KC, and I said how a lot of us good people, we put our heart out there. And just like I said yesterday, this world is full of good and bad people. So the way good people may treat my heart preciously and with respect, there are bad people that will try to take advantage of that. And I have to realize that.
Mm-hmm.
This show is so helpful in so many ways to me this morning. You just don't know. Because sometimes we got to reaffirm who the F we are.
That's right.
We got to reaffirm who the F we are. And it's not about looking down at people. Not that. You allow other things to control your narrative where you're not controlling your own narrative.
That's
and
right.
I'm speaking about Fatine this morning because I needed this. Because sometimes you don't realize who the F you are.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes you placate because you're just being nice. And it's not, I don't need to walk around here with a scowl and curse people out. But you got to also realize the world you in. And if you're going to move like that, realize good and bad. Just like you just said, good and bad is going to come to you.
Mm-hmm.
You said it, Alethea, responsibility. But got to understand, not only being responsible as a leader, imagine what's going to come back to you.
Yeah.
So if you know what's going to come back to you, then you surround yourself that people that you allow to get your heart, that they are going to give back to you what you've given to them.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And even as a leader, even if you don't get it back, you still keep on leading. You know what I'm saying?
You keep on leading, but you don't want to become right. But you learn from that because
you learn.
We all need something.
Absolutely.
We all go home and close that door and have to deal with ourselves.
Absolutely.
And sometimes we need our battery recharge. Sometimes we need that hug. We need that love.
Sure.
You understand what I'm saying? So yes, we are going to, will our hearts be trampled on that we are out there trying to do that? Yes, it will.
That's why we gotta get you a woman for team. We gotta get you a woman for team. So when you
Yeah,
come in that
that's
door, she
another
can hug
story.
up and love on you. You need a wife, Fatine.
Woman or a wife or
A wife.
wives.
You
I
need a
don't know.
wife.
We gonna get something here.
Shut
I need
up.
something here
You
that
need a
gonna
wife.
pour back
Singular.
into me like I poured into them. You know what I'm saying?
He
They
said
But
got
on
too
the
much
wives.
serious side,
He said
we
wives.
got serious we got serious business out there. Oh, Letha, if y'all want to bring up the polygamy thing, we can go that
Never
direction
mind.
today.
Never mind.
But on the serious side, I need supporters that got my back because I got y'all back.
That's right.
Understand what I'm saying? So just like when my wife would go in the hospital, we had supporting cast. I didn't have men dealing with my two daughters. I had females dealing with my two
Amen.
daughters.
Wisdom.
My wife trusted not only her female friends, but trusted my female friends once they were vetted because she had to vet them. You can't just go on my word.
Yeah.
Those are our cubs, not my cubs. Those are our cubs.
Mhm.
You understand what I'm saying? You had to vet. You know, and I remember one, I put her name out there, Sister Fatima. That's somebody I grew up with. But I had to bring her to the hospital. And when Hanifa spoke with her, and I walked back in the room, I let them have that time. She was like, it's like we've known each other for a long time. And they struck up that friendship. Because that girl had to come in our house and stay for 2 weeks. Take care of my babies, our babies.
Wow.
So I believe about the supporting cast out there to make us function to do what we need to get done. Because I had a lot on the plate. I had work. I had my social activism out there. I played softball.
Yeah.
And I was a parent and I was a husband. So I had a lot of things on my plate. And at times I needed assistance. If Hanifa was down with doing whatever we needed to make this work in a righteous way.
Yeah. Amen. Amen.
A
I love you,
lot
Fatine. I
of
love you, Fatine.
people,
Thank you.
yes. A lot of people, and that is a big part of leadership too, that a lot of people seem to just gloss over, knowing how to ask for help.
Yes.
Because we don't know everything, but some of us are so pompous and so yeah, you know how to ask for help and know that it is okay, just like you said, Jax, to say, listen, I don't know how to do this, but let me go find somebody that can. That does not make you less of a leader.
Amen.
That does
Amen.
not make you less of a leader if you say, you know what? You asked me this, I don't know how to answer it, but let me go find. Okay, I know Fatine. Fatine knows all these things. Let me go ask him.
That's
That
right.
doesn't make me any less of a leader if I ask you, if I ask Jax. It actually makes me a better leader.
That's right. And you know, I'm so glad you said that because I always say, even when Fatine has me on BLS, I always say, asking for help is a sign of strength, not a sign of weakness. And we get it so misconstrued within our community that we think
do.
asking for help is a sign of weakness. But I mean, now granted, there's a line where you don't want to just be a user or abuser or always going to somebody for help when there's certain things you can actually do on your own. But when you are in your weakness and you truly need that help, or even in your strength, it's okay to ask for help. And I know for me, sometimes even I struggle with that, because like growing up, I was a little sister, right? So I always wanted to be like my big brothers. So I never want to feel like I'm this small little baby little girl and can't do anything. So I was always like, I can do it on my own, like I'm tough, like I can do it. So I just always had that mentality, and I know that helped to hone my leadership skills. But I still have to check myself sometimes, because I'm like, yo, I need to pull back for a second and just work this out. And that's also part of leadership when you look at the different types of capital, right? So many times people think there's just financial capital, like the money side of it, but there's also social capital. Look at your networks, right? When I work with my clients, I do something called a family circles assessment, or I call it my 360, where you put yourself in the middle and then you draw a little circle in the middle, and then you draw another circle around that. Who is your next line of defense? And then another circle around that. Who's your next line of defense? Because we oftentimes think that we are really all alone, when there are networks of people willing to love, engage, help, and support us, people that you can trust, that many times we overlook. And sometimes it could be the man down the block at the bodega, or the sister at the bodega, that might just say, you know what, I love you today, or oh, Alethea, I like that new hair color, or girl, them yellow earrings is popping. Little stuff like that could still make you feel good. And it's all about being kind and helping people to feel good and understanding how important social capital is, how important emotional capital is, not just the financial capital, but your whole network around you. So when it takes a village, it's just more than the people, it's the other networks that go along with that.
And you know what? That bringing it back to
Mhm.
the weakness of asking for help or thinking that other people are better than you. I remember whenever my son was running for office in high school, and I had to tell him, and people were like, Don't tell him that. You're giving him like a like false narrative." But I told him, I said, "Jalen, there is nobody
Mhm.
better than
Mhm.
you.
That's right.
There is nobody better than you. They may do things differently
Mhm.
than you do it, but there's nobody better
That's
than
right.
you." And just because they do things in a different way doesn't make them better.
Mhm.
And you can learn
Mhm.
from that.
Mhm.
You can learn because everybody has their own unique skill sets. They're like unique talents, but that doesn't make you any better than me. And people got upset because I told my son, "Oh, well, there is nobody better than
Mhm.
you."
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
they were like, "Oh no, well, it well, you shouldn't tell him that." Why
Isn't
not?
that something? Isn't that something? Wow. And,
Yeah,
and you know
that's
what? It's for and Fatine, like that even goes back to the slavery mindset, right? And the mentality. So when you look at historically in Israel, it was originally people that look like, well, not quite like light skin like me, but like brown skin, black folks, it was us, right? In Israel. But when the Germans and the Polish came in and took over our land, and then they claimed that Israel was their land and took on the identity and said, no, we're the Jews, you're no longer the Jews, like we are. So that's when they took our language, our culture, our history, our heritage. But according to scripture, it says that the Jews are God's chosen people. So they took on an identity that was not theirs and said, we are the chosen people and we are the greatest to walk the face of this earth, right? And they walk in it, they're rich, they're successful, they're, whatever, they own land, they shut shit down, right? But if we try to say we're the chosen people or
Mm,
we are the greatest people, we're looked at as like, it doesn't matter what color you are, or why do you have so much confidence, like you're not the greatest, but a whole nother nation that's not even the nation that's supposed to be says that they're the greatest, and everybody's okay with them saying they're the greatest. But if we say we're the greatest, we got our own people saying, don't say that, you ain't the greatest, it doesn't matter, we're all God's people, God loves us all. But why do they get a chance to have all the confidence when it wasn't even their land in the first place, and they're not even
exactly.
those
why?
people?
But Jax, why do you feel that people, especially with us,
Mhm.
and it's even worse with Black women? Why do you feel like that's an issue where it's seen as a negative thing to
Mhm.
be confident in yourself?
Because goes back to Willie Lynch. You know what I'm saying? So Fatina, if we're gonna slide on to the next topic, I can definitely tie this right into exactly what you just said, especially dealing with women. But you want to hit Rhonda's comment?
wait. So I'm gonna hit that comment, but I want to put out something real quick. To get the family, I want to see how this works.
Mhm.
Joe took it down, so I'll read it. It's a long one, y'all. So these conversations need to be had to close the gap amongst the Black race. We had Miss Pierre, that is of Haitian descent, in the White House under Biden. Mia Love, a Black Republican Haitian who transitioned at 49 yesterday from Utah, and Kirsten, who was an attorney general from the Caribbean under Biden administration. Loretta Lynch, a Black American woman who under Obama administration prosecuted cases. I know a sister, Loretta Lynch. Well, we come from all walks of life, only we have to embrace the knowledge they have to move forward, as we have to break the ideology, the Black Black bourgeois, to understand that despite it all, they are Black at the end of the day. And before anyone asks you how many degrees you possess, the identity but anyone asks you how many degrees you possess, they identify you by your skin color first. Look what happened to Mr. Gates, arrested while trying to enter his own home. Remember, never forget the beer summit under Obama administration. So that was a lot said. I just wanted to try something real quick, Jax, and then you can do this. I was thinking about something because we've done this before on this show.
Mm-hmm.
And I was watching Tony, I think it's Tony Lance. Say It. I think that's the name of his song. It's not in front of me, but he's a new artist. And I hate when people say, which y'all brought up, when you bring up slavery or systemic racism, that was in the past and all that stuff. Why do we let people take something that we did that was good? You still read those that tend to read the Bible, how old is that? Mm-hmm. So if you tend to read the Bible, if you go back to some of the books in the past, why can't you go back to some of the music in the past? Mm-hmm. Because there was a time that we put out message music. And Alethea, not to get off track, but damn sister, when you held your head up, I didn't know them damn glasses was rocking with them earrings and rocking with that yellow on your shirt.
Yes, right.
Girl.
Listen, I am trying to be like you because every time you come, the hat match the like jersey, match the wristbands, match the. I was like, well, damn it, me too.
Yeah. But look,
we lead by example.
So she got to pull it together.
You lead by you lead by example. But I bring this up for a moment because it's kind of light, but it's serious. Why do we let people take our narrative? That's old music. I look at songs like now, when you said the greatest, I think about the song The Greatest. Go back to Muhammad Ali when he did, a lot of people don't know, Muhammad Ali did a movie. You know, that song The Greatest, not just Whitney Houston. You understand what I'm saying? R. Kelly, we know R. Kelly problems, but when it comes down to music, ain't nobody can really hardly touch that man. In his era, I Can Fly. Ball of Confusion by the Temptations. Self-Destruction by the hip hop group. Fight the Power, Public Enemy. So why do we allow people to turn us off to what was good in the past that we can utilize as instruction today? And the reason why I say y'all fall for the okie doke, y'all out there, is because these young artists, that's why I brought up Tony Lance, because he went back and used the old song. If you go back to Coco Jones, has that R&B sound. She has the new sound, but she ain't LMA.
Yes.
Her. So don't think that they get away from the basics, that we got to get away from the basics. You can use that. So that's why I want to put in the chat for our folks. And Eddie Bonnet, thank you, my brother, for saying you got my back. And also rest in peace to former Congresswoman Mia Love. Reverend Sharp, I put it on his rundown the other day when we lost former Congresswoman Mia Love. She's she's the first African-American GOP congressional leaders out there, a woman. And also when Larry Holmes passed, not Larry Holmes. I got Larry Holmes. Oh, God, George Foreman. I got Larry Holmes in my head because I know him. But I want to see folks put in the chat and we can switch up, but I want to really just put out there real quick. Why don't we take these songs? Because if you ever sit down and listen to a song, we can apply it to our problem today or our circumstance or what we're going through. And if you sometimes listen, because back in the day, if a brother didn't have a strong rap, what he'd say, yo, baby, just put that record on. Let me put that record on.
Yeah.
Those words that he's saying, that's what I'm trying to say to you. Oh, of course, you got to do the voice and all that kind of stuff. But on the serious side, why don't we do that? And I want to see some people put some message music that they feel, music that has a message out there. It's easy to say, ain't no stopping us now, McFadden and Whitehead. And it's cool. But how much music, message music, do y'all know that is relevant then and still relevant to today. I want to see some people, want to see how good. Dre B. Watson's with Revolution, Arrested Development from the Malcolm X soundtrack, the movie. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
We can utilize that today. You talk about Redman. You friends with Redman. You brought Redman on here, Sister Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
Why do we allow people to control our narrative that we have resources out there that we don't tap back into?
Mm-hmm.
I just want to get that comment in if you want to switch something. But
You
the
know what?
message music out there, I want to hear
I'll
what.
say
Yes.
one of my albums one of my favorite albums of all times is the Miseducation of Lauryn Hill.
Okay.
Yes.
That was 20 some years ago, and that album is fire.
Please.
And it's funny because Mayor Baraka is actually on that album, the mayor of North New Jersey, Mayor Raz Baraka. And if y'all live in Jersey or your family's in Jersey, make sure you tell them to vote. I believe it's June 10th for Mayor Baraka for governor of the great state of New Jersey. So
Right.
he's on that album. So yes, Miseducation.
Yes.
And we also have Rasheen
yes.
Kilo on the show who produced that album and
That's
wrote
correct.
some songs on it. So we had him on as a guest as well.
He's a Grammy winner, Grammy Award winner. Exactly. This is right
That's
there.
right. That's right. That's how we do. That's how we do.
Alethea?
Yeah, I would totally agree. That entire album from the beginning to
That's
the
right.
end was a message. It was a
Yeah.
movement. It was powerful, and I loved how it incorporated like the
Mhm.
like kids in like class and speaking about different things, and it really made you think. And I
Mhm.
was like, man, like she is so talented.
Right?
Like she's so talented, and that was her biggest album.
That's right. And she recorded it at a studio called Perfect Pair. I was about 20 years old and I was the operations manager of that studio with Sabrina and Ken Johnston, Perfect Pair Recording Studios. And I mean, it's just amazing. But go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
The one line whenever I was going through something, when she said, and every time I try to walk away, you hurt yourself to make me stay.
Ooh.
And I
Yeah.
was like, oh, like people will try to manipulate you
That's right.
in that way. And if people really listen to it, it was about manipulate. Like
Yeah.
but people really don't take time to listen to lyrics anymore. And that is because a lot of these I'm gonna just say what it is. A lot of these rappers, not all of them, are not lyricists.
That's right. That's right.
Like they're not. Like
You're right.
y'all can talk about Kendrick Lamar all y'all want, but the man is a lyricist.
Oh, he's phenomenal.
Yes.
The man
Mhm.
has a because he could have used that platform at the Super Bowl to do anything else.
Yeah.
But he sent a message, and every time he steps on a stage, every time he makes a video, it has a
Mhm.
message in it.
That's right.
And oftentimes we miss the message, which is what Samuel was saying at the
Yeah.
beginning. We miss the message.
That's
We
right.
missed the message in the music. And one of the things that by speaking with Kenny Gamble of Gamble and Huff of Philadelphia International, one of the things we talked about when he was on Open Line is that on every album cover of any album
yeah.
of Philadelphia International, they always had a message. And there was always a message in the music. And there's nothing wrong with having finger popping, but it's also about being conscious, because you got to realize the music imitates the time we're in. So when James Brown was doing I'm Black and I'm Proud, you got to realize Black music, and there was a lot of soul music, Black music, R&B music that was going on. Everything wasn't message music, but it was feel good music. It was music that made you feel good. It was music for the soul. And that's why we use, because we talked about in music, the drum How did our ancestors communicate?
That's right.
Drumming the night. When they was dealing with the Underground Railroad and leaving, drum.
Yep.
The
Yep.
message, you got to understand to put the message in the music. And
That's
with
right.
Kendrick Lamar, they talked about, just was reading that there was 125 complaints of the NFL Super Bowl.
Yes.
And I read that, and of course, the people not comfortable with the narrative that he put out there, the splitting of the American flag. Well, if you wasn't comfortable with it, how the heck you think we feel being comfortable in America? How y'all treat us?
That's right.
Ones that in power. Don't give us about y'all are uncomfortable because of this is what you've done to us and trying to keep your foot on our neck, or you benefit by your ancestors by keeping your foot on our neck.
Yep.
So let me just read a couple of comments here because I asked the folks to chime in. Michael Jenkins said there was a song by the Temptations called Take a Look Around, which gives a warning of our world today. Marcus Allen, the song with a profound question, what's going on? You know, that's Marvin Gaye. Dre B. Watson says, keep your head to the sky, earth, wind, and fire. And the sounds of blackness, optimistic.
Yes.
Rhonda Hairston also included Marvin Gaye, what's going on. Gabriel says, small folks got rid of conscious rap in the mid-90s and invested in private prisons. Rhonda Hairston, Temptations, Runaway Child, Running Wild, Self-Destruction, varies hip-hop artist, Dre B. Watson, which I brought up. Willie Pickett says, back in the days, an artist was saying what was going on in their life. Marcus Allen, you rule the way I move and I breathe your air. Only you can rescue me. This is my prayer. Cherish the day. Let me see. Eddie Bonnet put something out here. One room shack on the alley back control. I'm told from across the track. Where is the mayor who will make all things fair? He lives outside our polluted air, and I didn't have to be here. You didn't have to love. You didn't have to love for me while I was just nothing, just a nothing child. Why couldn't they just let me be? Let me be, let me be, let me be. He put that out here. Eddie, what is that attaining to? Please let me know what that is. Laura Bell, Runaway Child. Eddie Bonnet, the late, great Curtis Mayfield, Little Child, Running Wild. And, you know, that to me is that when I listen to these songs, it can remind you about what you're going through as personal in a sense of political, the ball of confusion of what's going on with the world. I even go to the OJs with a positive song, Love Train, stopping in different places, China, India. You know, these are things that are uplifting. And I'm not sitting on our young folks. And I know everybody can't be Kendrick Lamar, but there needs to be some kind of consciousness of yourself, because there are a lot of talented young folks out here and they find ways to break through and they deal with their circumstance. So if their circumstance was poverty, if their circumstance was growing up in a drug-infested home or a drug-infested community, or walking in a community where you see crack vials, you can't blame them to rap about that, about how they live. Look at what's his name, Nipsey Hussle. God bless that brother's soul. That brother, through hip-hop, made a change in his community. And they get one of ours, they always get one of ours to take us out now. They don't have to do it. They get one of ours. That's that old Willie Lynch, like Sister Jackson. That's that old Willie Lynch.
Yeah.
You understand? They do that. But I just want to take a moment. I don't want to take away from the sisters. Something that y'all want to raise out there.
And artist that was so underrated, but a lot of several songs that she made had a message. And one of my favorite two is Gotta Be and Little Child. When I first heard Little Child, I cried. Desiree. Like, the lyrics of Little Child is about a 15-year-old whose life was taken,
Yeah. Mhm.
and babies are screaming and mothers
Mhm.
are crying, and what are we gonna do about it?
That's right.
And when I first heard, like, you know how lyrics hit different whenever you get older. Like when I was younger, I was just singing the song and all this other stuff. But when I got older, and it
Mhm.
happened to hit my like playlist, and I'm listening, and I am bawling. I'm like,
Oh.
oh, because I didn't realize how powerful it was.
Mhm.
And if we just take time to go back and listen and
Mhm.
feel and the
Mhm.
conviction in these artists, and how they make you feel, how they
Oh
frame
yes.
their words, the like cadences of everything, is so much conviction in it.
Yes. Absolutely. And look, Dre B. Watson just put in UNITY by Queen
Oh,
Latifah, right?
yes.
UNITY.
Yes.
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 Yes. Oh my God.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I love good music, especially good music with a message. My nephew, he's been rapping for a zillion years, and I keep trying to get him to do some really positive stuff. And I'm like, look, Auntie wants to support you and share your stuff, but it's certain things I don't agree with some of the stuff you're talking about. So I'm sorry, bro. Auntie's not gonna share it, on social media. I love you to death, but come out with something. Oh my God, look. Pat Gabriel said KRS-One. He's still spitting, absolutely spitting knowledge. I miss those days in the late 80s, 90s when the hip hop was just fire. You had PRT, KRS-One, Public Enemy, like all those groups, was fire. Moni Love, Queen Latifah, like MC
Ooh.
Light, the music was just fun and just happy. And when you think about it, like these young kids, like you're saying, rap about, what they see on the streets. Well, dang it, back in slavery, what was they seeing back then? But they were still trying to give us some uplifting music or a
Yes.
way to escape and get out of it. So it's just all about the mindset. So we definitely have to work on changing our mindset. And the children are a mere reflection of the adults around them. So
Yeah.
that's why for the adults, if you have some mental health issues and you got some mental health issues, take your meds if that's what they gave you, or get your spirit right, or whatever it is you got to do to get it right, because the little ones coming up on the block are watching you. Your grandkids, your kids, your nieces and nephews, cousins, they are watching how you manage and negotiate your emotions and have integrity or the lack thereof. So they just want to be just like us. So that's why we have to give them something good to look up to.
Exactly. Let me just go through a couple of comments and something I want to say. Pat Gabriel says change going to come. Sam
Mhm.
Cook. Arik Cotton says, love the show, and one day I'm going to kick it live with you guys and beautiful ladies. Arik, appreciate the conversation with a heart. Pat Gabriel, underground hip hop is fire. JB Watson says halftime was what a 15-minute moment in time of being uncomfortable. People of color feel that way daily. Rhonda Harrison says, yes, brother Fatim, boiler confusing. That's what the world is today. People moving out, people moving in. Why? Because the color
Because of
of
the
the
color
skin.
of the
Run,
skin.
run,
Right,
run, but the show
run,
can't
but the
hide.
show
All
can't
of you. All
hide.
right, let me stop. Eddie Bonnet came back because I was trying to figure out what the lyrics. He said that was from Little Child Running Around by Curtis Mayfield. You, Drake, said that there. Now, let me just tell y'all something. As a kid, my father liked Ray Charles. My father's name was in there, I didn't listen to no daggone Ray Charles. I did not listen to no damn Ray Charles.
Well, you only 42. I ain't surprised.
Goddamn right. Goddamn right. Let's get that song be straight right now. Damn right. You know what's happening.
I need the sign.
You
I need
know
those
what's
signs.
happening. Damn right. Jamie Foxx comes out and plays Ray Charles. I met Ray Charles, and the sad thing is that Ray Charles ranked on me on something because I did something crazy in front of Isaac Hayes, and I didn't know he had such a sense of humor. I said, son, I couldn't come back at him. And then when I tried to say something, he got on me worse. But anyway, Jamie Foxx does the movie. Now, what Hanifa did with our children when they were young, you have to if you look at the year Ray Charles, and I don't know when it came out, my kids were young. but they were used to watching Imitation of Life, Titanic as
Mhm.
kids, y'all. I'm not talking about 13 and 14.
Mhm.
They're not even done. If Patia is 10, if she's there,
Wow.
they are used to watching that type of quality of music. Of course, they watched their Barney back then and
Mhm.
Arthur and all that stuff.
Oh
and
my God.
they did all
Mhm.
that stuff. They were kids.
Mhm.
I made sure my children were children. But at times, under supervision,
Mhm.
Imitation of Life dealt with race. Titanic dealt with love
Mhm.
and how people are trapped in relationships because of honor and lack of respect. And how when true love hits, how you feel free. That's Titanic.
Mhm. Mhm.
They see the movie Ray Charles. My kids see the movie Ray Charles. For me, it replayed what
Mhm.
I heard my parents and the
Right.
older people in my family play when I was a kid.
That's right.
My kids know Ray Charles music today. If I put on Ray Charles and my kids were here now and they're adults now, young adults, they'll go, because you know how I know?
Oh,
'Cause I
yeah.
used to put it on when we was in the car. So I got
Mhm.
Montel Jordan, I got Coffee Brown,
Mhm.
I got Aaliyah, I got the music of the day
Yeah.
rolling. You understand? I got Escape on. I got that rolling when I'm traveling to and fro south to New
Mhm.
York and back and forth.
Mhm.
And they knew that, but they also knew that.
Mhm.
And the reason why I brought up Ray Charles, because everything wasn't a message in a sense of a message of upliftment, but it was a message of what we went through. Do y'all ever listen to blues? Do y'all understand what the
Yeah.
blues is saying? What we went through? Y'all talk
Mhm.
about the gospel. Y'all talk about Sunday morning, but you don't talk about Saturday night.
Yeah. Mhm.
Ooh,
And a lot of our kids and our family experience Saturday night before Sunday morning.
That's the truth.
So that's what I'm saying. Don't let people take that away from us because we can learn from it. We can nourish ourselves. There's good and bad. I'm gonna tell you. I put out the movie. I put out the album Coffee Brown. A lot of people may not. Jax, it made me. Jaheem made me put my back, boy. Put my living
yeah.
the Luther and
Yeah.
Teddy. Yo,
Yeah.
putting my back into it. It makes you.
Oh,
I swear to
gosh.
God. It. Oh
Oh,
yeah, baby.
you sound
I'm
like my
saying
dad.
it touches your soul. It's rhythm, and
Yeah.
I joke with it because this is who we are as life. Everything is not political. I think Rhonda said, "I like to have a good laugh." It's nothing wrong with a good laugh. Ain't nothing wrong with putting your back into it,
what,
baby.
what, well,
You know
listen,
what I'm
listen.
saying?
For teen, I want somebody, and is again, listening to it at my age versus back then. I want
Mhm.
somebody to miss me. I want somebody to miss my presence, like Teddy
Uh-huh.
Pendergrass when he made that song. This man spent almost
Yes.
5 minutes. He talked
That's
about how
right.
much he was like, "Listen, I went to the store and it just wasn't the same because you wasn't with me." I was just like, "Ooh, what's up?
Yeah. Mhm.
Miss me like that."
That's right. That's right.
You know how what they said about
Man.
Teddy Pendergrass concert? How many after the concert? How many panties they found? Because
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
man
Listen,
wet up some panties back
Mm-mm-mm.
then. I'm a realist, y'all. So you
Yeah.
know I'm a kid watching this, and I'm
Mhm.
watching my cousins and my brothers, and I'm watching them how they move. You understand? And not that I want to be like them, but I just love how the love aspect that they can talk about love, but then the next day they can talk about eating right, how they can talk about doing right, how we
Mhm.
got a nation build. You understand? So we are a living, breathing world.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I joke with it, but I don't joke with it because
Mhm.
we can get a lot from all of this. I sat up there and I was going through a thing with Sister Dominique, McFarland, who lost 2 of her kids in a drowning accident. And we were I was going through homework because she had this grief class that she was doing once a week. And I was going through doing my work, and a song by the Manhattans came on, and it was talking about slowing it down and dancing. I sat over in that corner and cried. Tears just boo-hoo. It took me back to Hanifa. It took me back to, and it was a cleansing of the soul.
That's in my book.
Cleansing of the soul, y'all. And we so rough around the edges that you don't slow it down. Look, I showed y'all yesterday. I went another candle. This is I had to go get me another mahogany teak wood intense. You understand what I'm saying? Because you got to slow this down sometimes.
Right.
You gotta turn the noise down because we deal with so much. We gotta rejuvenate ourselves. We gotta replenish ourselves.
And I love that how you said about crying can cleanse your soul, because for those that don't know that are watching, I wrote a book and it's called I Am Bigger and So Are You: Life Skills for the Soul. And it's a children's book about positive affirmations and empowerment. And there's a page in there for teen that says crying can cleanse your soul and help you refocus to achieve your goals. So, I mean, for me, situation just resonated because last week was the anniversary when my second brother had passed away. So one brother passed away about 20 years ago on March 14th. And then the other brother passed away March 17th, 6 or 7 years ago. Right. So I just, experienced that. So last week before I took my son back to Massachusetts away to school, I had the TV going and, we're packing and we're cleaning up and doing laundry, and I had the music rocking, and I put on 1980s house music. Because my brother Everett, they called him Ramad, he was the house head. So I'm standing around the house, I'm dancing, I'm singing. My son is up and downstairs. I'm teaching him how to do the hustle and how to do the percolator and, just all these dances. And I shut up, Fatin. And in a moment, and in a moment, it just hit me because all those songs, just came on from back in the day that I remember hearing my brother sing and seeing him. I was always on punishment because I was always into something or just running my mouth or doing something. So I was always on punishment. So I would be ironing his clothes, putting a crease in it, Fatin, just for you, putting a crease in it, so that he can go to the club, to Zanzibar in Newark. It was a big, big club in Newark called Zanzibar. And I just remember hearing him singing. And I remember he used to tell me as a little girl, sis, one day, because we're 12 years apart. So he said, one day you're going to be old enough and we're going to be at the club together. And I can't wait to go with you and dance with you. So by the time I turned 21, I went to visit him in North Carolina, and we were at the club and we were dancing together, and he just held me and he said, sis, this is the day. And like he had tears in his eyes. I was like, oh my God, I'm at the club with my big brother. So hearing those old songs just had me rocking out. And I had a moment just like you, Fatin, where I broke down, but then I got it together and got my spin on and got my little Jersey house music on. And it was just such a beautiful day and a beautiful moment. So we need to cherish all those little moments, to help you heal and move on.
You're right. So Sister Alethea, sometime I can go off on this show. And I can really go off. I can turn on like that. But
because music is my jam, because music is like, I wish that people would love like they love, because music taught you back then how to love the right way.
Well, I'm coming to you now. That's what I'm doing. So hey, wait, hold on. I'm coming up. Hold on. So Sister Jax tells me, Fatin, you got to slow it down to bring it down. So this is directed to you, Alethea. I'm gonna pull the mic over.
Oh shoot!
Alethea. So what I done picked up is that this sister. But I'm gonna ask you. I don't want to assume, because you know what assuming does. But I want to start. Wait a minute now. She done said key words, because I was dealing with an older sister. Remember, I was 25 and I was dealing with this older sister, and she put on Teddy and Luther. And I told her straight up, as a 25-year-old at the time, she was about 8 years older than me. I was like, baby, you can't put Teddy and Luther on and nothing happens. It's either something going down or I'm leaving. She thought I was playing. That was my motto back then. I was 25.
Y'all, stop.
So I'm telling you, something went down. because you put Teddy. So let me get back to Sister Alethea.
Mhm.
What I'm picking up from you, my sister, get a little bit here, is that when you mention Teddy, you talk about love, you're a sensual woman.
Very.
Very. And I think that people don't pick up on people's love language. I already know Sister Jax. I already know her to a degree. But Sister Alethea, people don't pick up on people's love language. And I think that because they're not focused. They're not focused on what the person says, how they move. And I think your love language, it goes out like this. It goes out. Now, I believe now you're married, that love language. I'm not saying it's not there, but I think it's more redirected. It's there, but it's more redirected. I think that if you it would be bouncing off the ceiling if you wasn't in a relationship. But how important is for you being that sensual woman, and how important is love language, and for people to be able to pick up and understand, not to say understand, but first notice love language. I think you can't, if you can't notice love language, if you don't understand love language. But I throw it over to you, my sensual sister.
It is very important, and I'm so happy that you use the word sensual, because a lot of people misconstrue that, and it happens so many times in my life as sexual.
Mm.
And people, even my mom, even at a very young age, would tell me, "Oh, like you just ooze sexuality, like you just ooze." And I was like, "I'm not even doing nothing."
Mhm.
But I'm very sensual, and love language plays a huge part for me. And to have somebody understand that in order for you to love me, you have to love me in this way. And a lot of people don't take that time to what is your love language? Like, are you a person that gives?
Mhm.
Are you a person that likes to receive praises and affirmations? But that's something that you have to, like you said, slow down and learn. Like, I'm a very sensual person. I thrive on
I didn't pick that up. I
touch.
didn't know that before, but I picked it up.
Oh,
It came a little hard
listen,
today.
like,
I picked that. Oh, I picked it up,
listen,
baby. I
yes,
picked it up. Tell your
I like,
wife no disrespect,
no,
but I picked it up, baby. I picked it
oh,
up.
Look at Pateen, you about to start something, Pateen.
not
You
not
know
to make
me.
stop. But
Woo, get a little hot still. Get a little hot over there. Okay.
He don't never know how to act. Alethea, he
Hold on,
never know how to
hold
act.
on, wait. Hold on, let me turn this. Hold on. Let me light this damn candle over here.
no, but just like y'all lick my cheeks, okay? But just like little things like that, like
Mhm.
men don't realize, just by you noticing the woman that I am, just by you just moving in, like men, it don't take all that.
You're like,
Like
Lord.
like y'all be doing too much.
Uh-huh.
What you did is it is a crucial part of the love language. You were observant.
Mhm.
You observed me. If we just take the time to observe and take notes about the people that we are with,
Mhm. Don't turn
what
out, Pateen. Don't turn out on Truth Be Told, Pateen.
listen, what is it that makes you tick? Because then I can love you better.
Damn right.
Okay.
Damn, this is what I'm talking
Okay.
about.
Okay.
This is grown folks. This is grown folks conversation this morning,
We
there,
can
baby.
turn this up.
Watch
But
out, Michael Baisden. Watch out, Baisden. I got this
like
one, baby.
I can love you better.
Mhm.
And my listening to old school songs and don't have somebody who know how to sing
Oh
sing
Lord.
to me.
Mm.
Because
You out the way now for things.
no, but
I felt that.
like
I felt that, girl. Ooh, I felt that.
yeah, ladies man in for the face. Yeah,
Woo.
because I need and brothers do not take it in this sense, but I need that what's that song? I give you the sun, the rain, the moon,
Okay.
the
It's after
stars,
that's
and the
after seven.
mountains.
After
Yes,
seven.
I
After
give you
seven.
yes, yeah,
That's right.
like yeah. I get. I want it.
That's right. Wait, when the
You
album
No,
need
coming out? Because I caught the
you
vocals.
need it,
huh?
baby. You need it, baby.
I said
Wait,
I
what?
And
caught
then
the
What?
you see
vocals.
it,
I
and you
caught the
Jack.
vocals.
see,
Mind your business, Jack.
yeah, right.
My,
When
what?
when
What?
the album drop, it says I got a studio
Watch
for you to
out,
go to.
baby. Don't mess this flow up. Don't mess this
Okay
flow.
now.
Right?
But we need
Okay now.
you see how it slows your breathing down, how it brings you down. We need that. And we all need that. And a lot of us are so much that are not in relationships or in relationships and not getting the love that you need. And I think that a lot of times we go through life, we survive. And I think that that I always say that yin and the yang. I really didn't realize till maybe last week that I really missed that. When Jack said about the wife thing, yeah, there is a part of me that is dead because
Yeah.
I'm not getting that kind of love. I'm not getting that type of this, or if I'm getting it, and maybe I'm giving it, or I'm putting too much pressure on someone. Maybe I shouldn't be putting that pressure on because I'm getting something back that I'm missing and
Yeah.
I'm craving and don't want to be honest to say, yo, you need that.
That's
But
right. And
see,
fatigue. When
what I've I'm sorry. What I've learned is in my life, I'm tired of just surviving. I want to
Mm.
thrive.
That's right.
I I I don't want to just survive. I want to thrive. And if I can find somebody, my person, my soulmate that I cannot just survive with, but to thrive with,
Mm-hmm.
that is the most beautiful thing in
It
the
sure is.
world.
It sure is. It sure is. And I'm a testament to that. So I definitely get it. And Fatine, you were married for longer, basically longer than you've been single, right?
Right. Mhm.
Right. So that is what you're used to. That's what your body yearns. Like I know for me, I've always known since I was a little girl, I want to be a mom one day and I want to be a wife. I became pregnant with my daughter, became a wife, but I still knew that wasn't the right fit. But I kind of just rocked with it, for a while. But I still knew that God has somebody out there for me, my soul's mate. And when my husband now and I connected, I knew that is my soul's mate. And he would tell me every day, babe, God made you just for me. And I feel it and I know it. And for us to just grow together and I mean, I can't believe it's already been like 4 years since we've known each other. And like I said the other day, almost 3 years since we've been married. And it just feels like yesterday. And the stuff that we may have battled, before, and not really, it was never even a big battle, but any little disagreements we could have had before, just to see the growth in the marriage and how we're really learning one another because we never dated. So everything, it's like on the job training. We never dated. So it's a beautiful thing. So I feel you, Fatine. Like your soul yearns that. And your soul will not be at rest or at peace until you just reconnect and reassemble again with the right woman. It can't just be any little raggedy, chick that don't want to, do anything with herself. You still need a woman like Hanifa that still allowed you to have that flexibility and that freedom to be who you are, but still loved you unconditionally. That you can really grow with, and she mirrors you, you mirror her, you mirror God, y'all grow together and have fun. And she might be a woman like my husband and I, we're very similar in the fact that when we're at events, many times we're the last ones to leave because we talk to everybody. We're introducing each other to everybody, we're hugging on everybody, pouring into everybody, and people in turn are still pouring back into us. But you may find a woman that's not her speed. She likes to chill out, be back at the crib, or be whatever it is for you. Just pray on it. Pray on it because you deserve it, Fatine, and you will feel so
So
much more fulfilled once your pieces come back together. And it be the same as Hanifa? Not at all. But God got somebody else for you, Fatine, and then your quest to search for that connection will dissipate because you will have found that again. So you just got to pray to the Most High for it and be open to receive it. And you can still be the
So,
ladies
But
there
until
with one
that time
lady.
happens, I'm ready to still deal with the extracurricular activity that comes with
so
it.
wait, that's what I was getting at. So since you singled me out, I just want to ask. Let me pull my camera
Come
closer
on,
up
wait,
so
hold
I,
on,
so I,
hold
Okay,
on.
so
okay.
Let's
I
go,
can
let's
look
go,
you in
let's
the
talk, let's talk,
eyeballs.
let's
Okay.
talk, baby. Let's go.
So
Mhm.
don't use that little voice on me. So is your love language acts of service?
Yes, yes,
Hmm.
definitely. It's acts of service. It is. It's not always acts of service, but it's always in that line that I'm a doer, and I think that for me, because I think love, to express love or express what you feel towards a person, is through demonstration. I think that's what I tell people through what lovemaking is. Lovemaking is a physical
She's trying to hold that smile
expression of
back
how
down.
you
She's like, oh, I
feel
remember them
towards
days.
someone.
I remember
You,
them days.
you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So to take it from the lovemaking to look at my love language, that my love language
Oh my God,
is
Alethea, you got me dying
someone,
over here.
because that's who I am, Sister Alethea. And I think that I was able to eventually find, and you still grow and find out about yourself. But when you really understand and bring all this together, it becomes who you are, and you do it in everything that you do. So you do it in work, you do it in sports, and you do it in love. And I think my love language is an act of service where I do demonstrate my love language through service at times for
That
them and other folks.
that was my next question, but it was gonna come out so wrong. Because
Go ahead
my
and say
next
it,
She about
baby.
to come to the other side, but
because
she on her way
because
to the other
Don't talk
side.
about coming now. Don't talk about coming
because
now, Jax.
my like next line of questioning was, what type of services do you provide?
Ooh.
She coming to the other side, Fatine. Go ahead, Alethea. See,
Maybe
you
I need
already
to give
know,
you a
girl.
telephone number and let you speak to her. Maybe I need, but I think
Lord
that,
Jesus.
it's amazing that you say that. And I'll get my ass in
Look,
trouble on this
he
one.
blushing too.
Yo,
Both of
God.
y'all blushing.
It's service.
I see
It's
the
amazing
spark.
that you notice. Listen, for instance, I'll get my ass in trouble on this one, but you
Uh-oh.
notice somebody that is working most of the time. They're on their feet most of the time, and they are doers. So the next thing you think of,
She like,
could you, like they
Wait
come
a
over
minute.
and
Wait,
you
wait
start
a
massaging, their
minute.
shoulders, and then you be like, yeah, you give that massage. You may start with a certain part of the body, but what the hell? You might as well just go and do that full body massage. But that
Look.
is part of
she like,
how
Lord,
you
she like,
try to look at what they may need and see, and especially if they are sensual. Even they may do or say certain things that are sensual. And then honestly, when you get them relaxed and you pour into them, you get them to open up. And you know
you
what?
gonna need
One
a
of the
place to stay
most,
by the end of the night, Alethea.
you know
get
what,
kicked out tonight.
one of the most fulfilling things is not just your pleasure, but to see someone else being pleased or pleasured. And I'm not just talking about sexual.
God.
I'm talking
Thank
about
you for joining Truth Big Time.
Yeah. As you go pack your shit.
But I'm just saying, when you massaging them and they put out that moan or that groan like they relaxed,
It's just the best thing ever. It's just the best
that's
thing
what I'm
ever.
talking about.
And he
That's
got
what I'm
big
talking
hands
about.
too, Alethea.
Wait,
Show your hands, Fatine.
Oh God,
so
you
what
want
you
to know
telling
more,
me
baby?
is,
What you want to know more?
so what you telling me is that you a handyman,
Yes,
like that you good with your hands.
I utilize my hands, and yeah. Mm-hmm.
And look, he a big
See?
one. Fatine is so big. So Fatine is so big.
Wait,
Shut up.
it's so big like that.
I mean, big. Like Look, I'm only 5'3". Fatine damn near 7 feet tall. Fatine is a big boy.
I'm 5'8".
Okay, you tall. Okay.
I'm
I'm a
8 and
shrimp.
a bundle of love. There you go. But
Look at
I
Fatine
get
blushing.
But
what's up?
I am the type of woman that not everybody you have to be a certain type of person to handle a certain type of woman like me because
Mm.
because if you cannot handle my curves, then you need to stay off my street. That's
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 right.
that's just how it like you have to be a certain type of person to handle a certain type of woman like me because I am very outspoken. I do not have a filter. I I
Mhm.
I when I love loud.
Mm,
I love loud, and I'm very unapologetic
mm,
about my love for not only myself but who I'm with.
mhm,
And not everybody is able to handle somebody who loves them loud.
mhm. I'm just saying, can I be the flower girl, y'all? Can I be the big old flower girl?
I get my trouble. I see you. I run into this. But let me just say this on the love loud. So
Mhm.
you want to be you, but there's a difference. See, there's love, and respect, and all that comes into play. When we use the word respect, and I think sometimes we use that word loosely. There is a different type of respect when you hold a person in reverence. For instance, we hold our parents with that kind of respect or that kind of fear. When we say that fear, not that we fear like that, but it's the respect. When you respect your love partner, and I use the word partner because it could be your wife, it could be your husband, or it could be the person that you're in love with or relating love with at that moment. Because we relate love and we love, just like Aliti says, she loves loud. A lot of people love hard. So I try to tell people that you don't have to be in a relationship and love a friend, and you can love loud and love hard because I love hard. So I'm a doer. That's why my
Mhm.
love language is what when you ask me that, you understand? But when you respect a person, you know that even though this is who you are and you love loud and you don't have no filter, out of respect, you may start to tone yourself down, not change yourself, but become better in the sense of how you communicate. And maybe I do need to filter some things only because out of respect to this person, because when this person walks in that room, this person is an example of
Yes.
someone that I love and I respect, and they don't deserve any negativity that they don't deserve.
Mhm.
So, well, that's why I say you can love someone, but the difference when you love someone and respect someone and treasure them, then you care about what and how they think of you as well.
Mhm.
So where do I
Oh, ooh,
She blushing.
I
She
don't
can't get it
charge you for
together.
this
She was
time.
like,
I
she
thought
said
you're
her
the
boss.
motivational speaker.
She said, a man. Lord, she over there clutching
Woo,
the pearls.
woo, I get it. I
where,
see it.
Go
where do
ahead,
I
boo.
sign up to like receive these services?
You married, baby.
Oh my God. Joe could have beat y'all. Joe is gonna
You're
come
right.
back and beat
Joe,
y'all.
gonna be like, what the hell?
You know not to leave y'all in the hands of the ladies, man.
Yo,
He was
You know what
he
I'm
like,
like
saying?
everybody getting a beating. Everybody getting a beating.
be like, what the heck? This is not what this is.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, Lord Jesus. This is a
Oh, man.
trip. This is funny. I love it. I just want to be the flower girl, y'all. That's all I'm saying.
Oh,
That's all I'm
Lord.
saying. And look,
Look,
I don't think
listen.
your street is as curvy because your face looks slim down from the first time we saw you. Looking good, girl. I don't know
This
what you've been
girl,
Listen,
doing.
let me tell you about
let me
Alethea. Alethea
wait
is
a minute.
bouncing back
I
there.
need some of
She
whatever
is
you're doing.
Wait,
bouncing back there. I can,
like, see,
Alethea,
Shut
look at
up.
it.
Shut
yeah, they got
up.
some,
Okay.
yes.
Okay.
I
Okay.
had some,
We got to talk after the show, boo, because I need some of that. Go ahead,
I ain't gonna
girl.
say what I need because she married.
I don't need that. Oh shoot,
Y'all a
that
mess.
Papa
Woo!
Joe
I
back.
said,
Y'all a mess.
Papa Joe
Look
back.
at
I
it.
love it.
Look at it. Where am I at?
Ooh, wee.
160. Where am I at? Y'all a mess.
Tell
Papa
Michael
Joe.
Basin to come on in here. Cause
Yeah,
tell
see
him
what happened
the
was,
team
Joe, they
got
was just
this on
acting
me
up.
today.
See,
Y'all a mess.
Look, we all quiet.
he started it.
Yeah.
I know
Oh,
y'all
don't
mess.
throw me under the damn bus.
Yup. Yup.
Throw me
Hey,
under
y'all
the
hit
bed,
it.
Alethea. Throw me under the bed. That's what you're doing? Throwing me under the bed. Okay,
No,
I got you.
I got you. I got you.
Look,
Wait,
Ain't nothing wrong with going under the
because
bed neither, baby.
I know.
Mhm.
y'all
Now,
just
you know,
y'all
you
just
know.
let me know when y'all want to finish this.
Yeah, we will finish.
It's
It's
10:56.
it's 4 minutes too. So I think before we wrap up, is there anything, not to say closing thoughts yet, is there anything else that you want to raise? First of all, I just want to say this was a great conversation today. I always feel very good and comfortable of talking with sisters. I started this process because I was scared of how to even communicate with women. So when I went to college, I surrounded myself more with women. And then in life, after my first marriage, I dated different women and to learn more about women. So I think that a lot of times I try to be an example that we need to converse with our women more and talk about numerous things, including relationships and love, like we did, and politics and power, what we talked about today, and music today. We hit a lot of topics real quick, but we show that this is life, y'all. And I think that it doesn't have to be, we don't have to be going after each other. We can come together and have some good conversations, some laughs, but also leave some nuggets and jewels for people to take back with them. And hopefully that if they can utilize it in a positive way, they can. So this has been great for me. But is anything else before we do closing thoughts? Anything else that you want to bring to the table through this? I want you to fan yourself a little bit over there, fan yourself over there because you was bouncing. Girl, it seemed like you was about to come out of that sweatshirt there. I was like, oh no.
Turn off my heater. I had to turn the
Which
heat off.
heater? Which heater? The heater in the house or the heater in your body?
Lord have mercy.
Lord, she took her glasses off.
I love this, y'all, because you know what? It's all about Black love. And just even seeing this exchange where we're in jest and having a good time, but it's still such a balance when it's Black love. And that's what we need. We can't be humping around, hoeing around, and whatever. But when you bring the
Speak
two
for
together,
yourself, there, woman.
shut up, Steve.
Speak for yourself, woman.
That's why we all divided.
We
can't be hoes no
Speak
more
for
for teen.
yourself.
We can't be hoes no more for teen. We got to be on point. But Black love for teen.
I'm gonna be on point. And then,
Look,
okay.
I just love how this ended in laughter because we don't have enough of that. Life is not always, don't take life so serious. Just laugh and just have, because laughter is good for the soul.
So that's right.
Laughter is good for the soul. Crying is a release. Laughter is good for the soul. So just laugh. Don't take life so. Even if you laugh at yourself, just laugh because I will probably watch this and laugh again. Because
ain't no problem. You gonna laugh. Oh my goodness. But I love y'all. You guys are awesome. And you're so right. It's always good to laugh. And I know Fatine and I, we've had exchanges over the phone, and Joe and I have had exchanges where we can't halfway breathe because we cracking up laughing over the dumbest things. Like I'm very serious, but I'm still such a clown. Like I'm more of a clown than I am serious. I'm just serious about my people, but I'm a big doofball, and I've always been that way. And it used to piss my family off because I find joy in like everything. So I love to laugh. I love to have fun, and I just love to love on my people. Love on my people. That's what I love to do.
Yeah, little known fact. I am goofy. I am goofy, and people are like, why you so goofy?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I'm the same way. Look, Fatine to tell you, look, girl, I'm clumsy as hell, right? Fatine,
she can't walk. She can't walk straight.
I can't halfway walk straight. I be falling down the stairs. What did I drink last year, Fatine?
Fabulosa.
I drank Fabulosa.
Cleaner.
Took it to the head. Fabuloso to the head by accident, right? Yeah. So I'm always getting my
Gatorade or water, baby. Come on.
Yeah. And I took it back so far, Alethea.
Water.
It hit me right here, right in the throat. It just dried. Oh my God.
She was trying to kill COVID. She was taking Trump. She's an undercover Trump supporter. So she was using close to bleach. She just did the black and the Spanish family instead of bleach. She used some with a little bit of rhythm there.
Yeah, right. No, I was cleaning, Alethea. I was cleaning, and like I'm anemic, so I have like an ice addiction thing going on. So I always have some sort of ice around. So I had just a plastic cup with some ice and another plastic cup with Fabuloso, and something caught my eye like on TV, and I looked at it. And the ice, it was like one piece, it'd be stuck to the bottom of the cup. And you
Yes.
want to get that thing, so you gotta, take it back hard. So when I
Hard.
went to
Yes.
take it back hard, that hot Fabuloso just all over my face and straight down my throat.
Take it back. You better be, you see how she describing that? Taking it back hard all
Take
over
it-
my face. You
Shut
better
up.
let's get out of here.
It's a lot
Let him go.
going on. And
Yeah.
because
Woo.
I have been you know what?
She might be in trouble.
I was about to say I have been known to like deep throat a few beverages in my
Oh
life.
shoot. Oh shoot.
Deep Joseph.
Uh-oh. She coming back. She coming back. She coming back. See? All this God talk gotta come in our home. Come on, sis.
We ain't going nowhere. Joe, you take care of that cat. We staying on here till midnight, baby. Shit. Deep throat some.
Conversion.
Deep throat some beverages.
Yeah.
Woo, that's a mighty gulp, baby. That's a mighty
I will
gulp.
finish this bottle in a single bound. I'm trying to tell
Shut
you.
That's
up.
what I'm
Go
talking
ahead,
about.
sis.
I tell you, it's all in the throat, baby. It's all in the throat.
Oh my God. I'm just a baby for teen. I ain't supposed to hear this stuff. I'm just a baby.
Woo, I needed this show more than y'all think. Y'all just don't
Listen.
realize I needed this show today. I'm
A
serious.
mess.
All right, so
mess.
let's go ahead and
Not
get ready to close out. We'll go ahead and start with you, Sister Alethea. Your closing thoughts, my sister. My
Oh,
beautiful,
yeah.
sensual,
Come on home, sis. What you got, boo?
sister. Mhm.
Thank you, Daddy. So
Okay, all right, Mama. All right, Pudding.
we gonna be banned from ever doing a single show again.
I got somebody who call me Zaddy.
Y'all are a
Okay,
mess.
let me get it together.
Yeah.
Pull it
Okay,
together.
so like Joe said earlier, I have my own podcast in the passenger seat with me. I also have my merch, one of which I'm wearing right now. Be great in their
Wait, show us
face.
a little better. Show us a little better so we can see. Okay. Nice.
Be great in their
Cute.
face. It's hoodies, shirts, whatever, you got it. And I've been meaning to show since Jax. So I also have wristbands that say "Be
Cute.
great in their face," and I am enough. You are
Yes.
enough. So and
Yes.
it comes in different colors and
Yes.
styles, and so all that can be found on my website. I am Alethea.com. Listen, nobody is better than you. Nobody is better than you because you are enough exactly as you are.
Mhm.
So you cannot compete where you don't compare, and nobody compares to the amazing person that you are. So go out there and just be you because you are enough.
Mm,
Amen.
well said. Amen. Amen. Yeah.
Great show, guys. Y'all crazy as hell. It's been it's been a great show. I love you guys, and you guys know what I say all the time. If nobody told you they love you today, you know your girl who love you, y'all. Y'all girl Jax loves you. And like Alethea, thank you to everybody who's been ordering these bracelets. I've been back and forth, shipping them out. These God bracelets. We got the red and black and white. We got a bunch of different colors. You could either put God in the chat if you're interested. Put God in the chat, and I will follow up with you, and so that you can get your place your order, because I will be sending out another shipment today. So put GOD in the chat, or go to Jackie Harrison, Jakki Harrison on Facebook, and just DM me, and I will ship it out to you ASAP. So have a blessed day, everybody. Be good.
All right. So for thanking Sister Jack, Sister Alethea, thanking everybody that was in the chat. And I'll leave with, before I give you my words, Dre B. Watson said, laugh out loud. Y'all are hilarious. Laughter is needed at this time. Dre B. Watson said, Brother Joe ain't going to leave y'all alone no more. Marcus Allen says, oh, y'all have shaken the framework on Joe's platform. And that's what I do. I leave a mark, brother Marcus, wherever I am at, my brother, whenever I sit in there. So the day we didn't have Captain Kirk driving this ship, we had Brother Fatine doing the Starship Enterprise, my baby. A matter of fact, it was the Starship Lover Prize. Okay, that's where we were today. That's where we was at. But on the serious side, I needed this. Sometime in life we wrestle with things, and sometimes we have to put them in the proper perspective, and it's relevant. It depends on what you're dealing with and how you're doing. And sometimes you tend to look at other people on the outside, but sometimes it's not just about the other people; it's about you and what you allow. And I think that some of the things that I've been personally dealing with, nothing bad, just, when you wrestle with emotions and things like that, sometimes you got to put them in the proper perspective. And I think today's show, with a culmination of conversation and things like that, it just brings it back full circle to say, this is who you are. Not that you're better than people, but that you may be just better than you allowing your emotions to pull you down to. And when you got to come back up and be the person that you are, because if you are not being the person that you are, then you can't give 100% of yourself if you're not 100% of yourself. So this was really good because we had good conversation, but we also had good laughter. But out of all of that, there was some substance out of all of the words that we said today. So with that, I don't have no special words. I love you, Sister Jax, Alethea. I started to feel this other side of you, but you did a couple of things today, movement, saying, I was like, some sensuality going on here. And see what I'm saying? So I was like, okay, I don't like not to feed into something. And I don't think it was bad. And I appreciate you allowing us in a little bit of who you are. Jax has allowed us into who she has been and still does. And of course, y'all know I'm pretty much transparent as well. So with that being said, if Joe is in the background, he can come out and go ahead and close this out, because I don't have the control of the controls.
Right. Right. So what we gonna do is hit the X. We don't know
That's
if
what
the
we
music
gonna
come
do.
on
So
or the theme gonna come on.
exactly. So